Okay, so we have finished our discussion on homogeneous Poisson process, and now we'll start a new topic, namely discrete parameter Markov chain on a countable state space. Now, what I mean by this is that our stochastic processes will be discrete parameter firstly, which means the time is going to be discrete. Also, the random variables are going to take values in a countable space, which means each random variable is also going to be discrete. So not only that the time will be discrete, the random variables themselves will also be discrete. So everything will be discrete in this particular topic. As our first example, first motivating example, we'll actually start from homogeneous Poisson process. Remember, this exercise was given to you. So if you have, so in homework assignment 1, this was one of the problems. So if NT is a homogeneous Poisson process and you take times U0, which is strictly less than U1 and so on, all the way up to UN plus 1, okay, all positive, then the joint probability, this particular joint probability is positive if and only, so this is n u0 equal to I0, n u1 equal to I1, all the way up to n of un minus 1 equal to I n minus 1, and n of un equal to I. Okay? This joint probability is positive if and only if I0 is, first of all, I0 has to be everything has to be non-negative integers. All of these are non-negative integers, all the i's here. And I0 would be less than equal to I1, in turn will be less than equal to I2 and so on, all the way up to In minus 1. And finally, In minus 1 has to be less than equal to I. Okay? All non-negative integers. Now, why do we need this? This is because this t going to nt is a non-decreasing function. Is an increasing function or a non-decreasing function. So this means that if n of u0 takes some value, n of u1 cannot take a value which is strictly less than that. So that's why we want this inequality, and so on. Okay. Now suppose you take such a sequence of non-negative integers. Okay. Take such a collection. Then this conditional probability that is stated here is well defined because the conditioning event has positive probability. Then the conditional probability of this one, given all of this, is same as the conditional probability of this, given only this one, the last one. This is something you already verified. So I gave it as an exercise, so you have already verified. So this is what I called, or is called, the Markov property of a homogeneous Poisson process. Namely, conditional on the past and present, the future depends only on the present. So in other words, if you look at future, given the past and present, the past is not going to matter at all. The only thing that will matter in the conditional probability is the present. Okay, now let's take a special case. Okay, one more thing here I would like to point out is that we are not going to evaluate this probability in this generality, but if we want to evaluate this conditional probability, you'll actually have to use the properties of homogeneous Poisson process, and then you will see that this conditional probability will actually depend on the sequence un. In particular, it will depend on n in general. Okay. Now let's take a special case. Let's take um equal to m for all m. Okay. And instead of nm, so we are basically looking at the homogeneous Poisson process at discrete times. So looking at this sequence x1, x2, and so on, n1, n2, and so on. So instead of calling them n1, n2, and so on, let's call them x1, x2, etc. So this is just to unify the notations that we are going to use. Okay. So we'll call this xm instead of nm. Now observe that the conditional probability of xn plus 1 taking a value given x not equal to I naught, x1 equal to I1, all the way up to xn minus 1 equal to in minus 1, and xn equal to I is equal to the conditional probability of xn plus 1 equal to j given xn equal to I. Whenever, of course, the first conditional probability is well defined, okay? which means this conditioning event has positive probability, and that would happen provided this string of inequalities is satisfied among all these integers. These are all integers, and they're all non-negative, in fact. And the first one has to be 0, because x naught, we know, starts from 0. So I naught has to be 0. And then we should have this string of inequalities. So that the first conditional probability is well defined. Now note that if the first conditional probability is well defined, so would be the second one. Why? That's because the conditioning event here is a bigger event compared to the conditioning event here. So if this conditioning event has positive probability, then so will be the second conditioning event. So this has positive probability would imply this also has positive probability. So therefore, if the first conditional probability is well defined, so is the second one. Okay. Not only that, they are also going to be equal. So whenever the left-hand side of 2 is well defined, these two things are equal. Left-hand side and right-hand side of 2 are equal. Okay. So again, this is the future given the past and present is same as future given the present. So past is not important at all as far as conditional probability goes. Okay. Then this is an easy exercise to check that the right-hand side of 2, namely this particular probability, is equal to this ratio. Why is that so? First of all, by definition, this conditional probability would become equal to the joint probability of xn equal to I and xn plus n equal to j divided by the marginal probability of xn equal to I. Now, whatever I said in the numerator, you'll have the joint distribution of xn and xn plus 1. Instead of writing like that, just like what we have done before, you just write it as the joint probability of xn equal to I and the difference of xn plus 1 and xn equal to j minus I. So this event is same as the event xn equal to I and xn plus 1 equal to j. We have done it over and over again in homogeneous Poisson process. So using that, you'll be able to check that this guy, this conditional probability, namely the right-hand side of 2, is actually equal to this guy. Okay. So numerator is already the probability of the conditioning event. The denominator is already the probability of the conditioning event, namely xn equal to I. Numerator, you just have to observe that instead of writing it as the probability of xn equal to I and xn plus 1 equal to j, we just have to write it as xn equal to I and xn plus 1 minus xn equal to j minus I, which is the same event, and hence they have the same probability. Now the advantage is that now we'll use the properties of homogeneous Poisson process. Homogeneous Poisson process has increments are independent. So it has independent increments. In particular, xn plus 1 minus xn is independent of xn. So this probability would become the product of the probability of this times probability of that, and therefore it will cancel with this too. You'll only get the marginal probability of xn plus 1 minus xn equal to j minus I. Okay. Now what is this marginal probability? Xn plus 1 minus xn is a Poisson random variable with parameter alpha, right? Because this is a homogeneous Poisson process with rate alpha. So using that, you will get that this probability equals this particular expression here. So it will be non-zero as long as j minus I is a non-negative integer. So as long as j is bigger than or equal to I and j is an integer, so this would be equal to a Poisson random variable taking the value j minus I. 0 otherwise. If j minus 1 is not a non-negative integer, then this is 0. The crucial observation is that whenever the left-hand side of 2, namely this bigger conditional probability, well, not bigger, I say the conditioning event is actually smaller. So this conditional, the first conditional probability here is well defined, then it is actually equal to RHS, and both are actually free of n. This property is called time homogeneity or time stationarity, in the sense that the future given past and present equals future given present. This is Markov property. We have already talked about it. But the fact that future given present doesn't depend on the time. It doesn't depend on n. See, this is completely free of n. There is no n in it. Okay. This particular property is called time stationarity or time homogeneity. And in this case, we'll say that this xm, this discrete parameter stochastic process, is actually a time stationary or time homogeneous Markov chain. Note that this wasn't the case in general for any UM. If you go back to any UM here, this won't be the case. Okay. Since we have taken UM equal to m, more precisely we have taken UMs which are evenly spaced, this is happening. Otherwise, this right hand side of 2 will actually depend on n.